Hello, travelers. Solo Sue here. It is day 3 of my Silversea Nova Alaska trip, and we are in Juneau now. I have a shore excursion, which is, they call it, they have an acronym, SALT, and I'll put in the bottom what it means because I cannot for the life of me remember. I think land and sea is in there somewhere, but I don't know what else. Anyway, we have just pulled into Juneau, and I have a shore excursion. As I said, it is SALT, the flavors of the Alaskan wilderness, and we meet on the pier at 10:20, which is about an hour away, and we are supposed to go shopping for food. I think we have a chef as our guide, and then we go someplace and we make a recipe, and then we get to eat it. And I thought that would be kind of a fun thing to do in Juneau. I have been here several times. If you've never been to Juneau, though, I will say it is the best place to go whale watching. So if you haven't, if this is your first time coming to Juneau, go do whale watching. Otherwise, if you've been several times and you're kind of casting about for something interesting, this looked like something interesting. So I will bring you along and let you know how it goes.
Good morning.
Good morning. We are all the way at the end of the docks.
I watched the dock.
Yeah, that was cool.
Came on the deck on it. Yeah, slid it in there.
And we have Carnival here. I'm not sure who it is. Who is Carnival? Oh, Carnival Spirit, it looks like. Yeah, it's Carnival Spirit. So pretty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's...
Everybody have a spoon to me these things. Okay.
Looks like a little bit of everything.
This is the labyrinth. Bread. This is how they present the butter. This is the amuse-bouche, and it's got some risotto in there, apparently. This is scallop, and I believe it's lobster, and then some caviar, and there's a foam on the top. This is the foie gras. This is the Dover sole with some vegetables and some more caviar. Good evening, travelers. It's the end of day 3. We were in Juneau today, and I had a lovely day. The weather was not so cooperative, though. It was a bit rainy, but yeah, other than that, it was good. So I met my tour group down on the pier at 10:30, and they whisked us away in a van, and there were, let's see, I think 14 of us maybe? I'm not sure. We went to North Douglas Island, and that was where we were able to see the Mendenhall Glacier from across the, I guess it's Mendenhall Lake. But anyway, after they took us to that, they took us to the Macaulay Salmon Hatchery, and we got a guided tour of the hatchery and how they do their business. And that was very interesting. So they will bring in the fish, because the fish will spawn back to them, and they separate the males and females, and she said that they put them in this area where they deliver an electric shock to sort of stun the fish, and then they bonk them on the head to do processing, but it kills them so that they're not going to feel any of the processing. And they harvest the roe and the eggs from the females, and the rest of it from the males, and then they sort of combine that together, and the baby eggs are fertilized and become baby fish, and all of the adults that had come up to spawn, and they die anyway after they've spawned, are processed through to be fish for various products. And so that was interesting, and she showed us the pens with the baby fish, and they get to a certain point, and then they are acclimated into these pens that are out in the river, sort of adjacent to the hatchery, and then that's how they imprint, so they know where to come back to, and then they are eventually released at sort of staggered times to give them the best chance. And they had a little diagram there talking about the wild versus the hatchery fish, and how many at the end of a certain period of time are left from the wild fish and from the fish from the hatchery. And it was quite a difference. I think it was something like 7 in and they started out with like 2,500. So predation of various kinds wind up having quite the attrition versus the salmon raised, the hatchery raised. It gives them a better chance, and they wind up with 108 of those at the end of that time period that wind up being able to come back. And so in that way, they're trying to boost the population and give these salmon a chance so that they don't, wind up going extinct, basically. And it makes it much more sustainable, I can almost speak. So After that, we went to the St. Therese shrine, which was beautiful. Actually, first we went to a, does it say what the name of it was? Oh, Forbidden Peak Brewery. That was good. I'm not a beer person, but they also had root beer, and that was good. And then there was a chef there. There's a restaurant adjacent, and he did a 3-course meal for us, and that was very nice for lunch. And then we went to St. Therese Shrine, and that was beautiful. The rain had actually let up. It was raining still when we got to the hatchery. Some of that tour was indoors, so that wasn't too bad. But they were saying, if the rain doesn't let up, we may forego the shrine. But it didn't. It stopped raining. The sun didn't come out, but it did stop raining. And so we did get to go to the shrine, and it was beautiful. It was really pretty. And then after that, they dropped us back at the ship, and that was a lovely day. For dinner, I went to La Dame, the French restaurant here, and that was delicious. There was too much food. There's a lot of courses. They have a signature menu where you basically take everything on the menu that, in the order that they present it, right? Or they have an a la carte where you can pick and choose. And I took the signature menu, but there are so many courses that by the end of the fish course, I was done. There was supposed to be a veal course and a dessert course still, and I was like, I can't eat another bite. They also have an option for you to have wine and champagne pairings with them, which I did not go for, but it is an option, and it was lovely. It was very nice. So yeah, that was my day, and tomorrow I have an early excursion. Oh, the Yukon Suspension Bridge and Summit Tour. We're going to be in Skagway tomorrow. And so that's the plan. It's also very early in the morning that we have to meet, so I'm going to have to be up quite early. So I've ordered my room service for tomorrow in my cabin, and we'll see how it goes. I'll let you know. So Lucy signing off.